fresh in the flesh.
Yo, what up, though? This B-Boy Reg.
I'm DJ Butter, y'all.
And it's Funky Fresh in the Flesh.
Yeah, we back to attack with Ced Louie.
What up, though?
Yeah.
What up, though?
I was going to make a rhyme with that, but I didn't.
What you was going to rhyme Louie with?
Yeah, I was wondering, like, man, what rhyme Louie with? What you say, Ced?
I mean, I don't even know, man.
Yeah, we got the multi-talented businessman, executive, curator of Detroit rap music, just global rap music, man, and, you know, good music, period, man. Ced Louie in the house.
What's going on, man?
No doubt, man. Good to see you, Ced.
Thank you. Good to see you, too, bro.
You too, man.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how did you get involved with the music business?
Oh, man. That's a loaded question. When I was in high school, I had interest in the music. Like, you know, my biological father, you know, he was a DJ. My grandfather wasn't, like, in music professionally, but he was, like, a music fan.
Okay.
So, you know, so he had all the vinyls. Even my stepfather, like, we had, like, tons of vinyls. That's all we do, would be downstairs listening to music all day. So I just, like, had a natural love for music. When I was in high school, and I played in the band when I was in, like, elementary school, going into middle school, but then I, like, transitioned to sports. Yeah. So I kind of stopped playing for real and was, like, focusing on the sports. I knew I had, like, this itch for it, but I didn't know anybody. Like, I didn't know nobody who did it professionally, so I didn't think it was realistic. I ended up getting a football scholarship. I went to the school called Tiffin University. I ended up meeting my homeboy Locke and my homeboy Corey down there.
Okay.
This when Fruity Loops first came out, so I started making beats on Fruity Loops for them.
Right.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how I started. I was making beats on Fruity Loops for them. And then I just started looking into, like, the business and, like, how I run and, like, everything was going on. So I end up, like, reading all the credits. So I end up discovering who Chris Lighty was and Mona Scott and Violator and everything they had going on. So, like, I became infatuated with that part of it and how the music industry worked. And then I just transitioned into that, and here I am 20 years later.
So you never tried to rap or anything?
No, never.
You was just like,
never.
This the direction I'm going in from the start.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, make the beat stuff, but no, I never tried to be no rapper. Like, that wasn't it. I had no interest in that.
Was it because you didn't really care about, like, the limelight, or you just was like, this is something I'm passionate about and I want to do this part of it? Because most people be like, they want to be out front, they want to be famous, they want to have a lifestyle. Yeah,
if you know my personality, like Butter Butter been around me. I'm not in the front person. Like, even starting to do these interviews now, like, this is, like, new for me. It's like, but I feel like I have to, like, give out the information and tell people my story and all that stuff. So that's why I've been doing them more. But I'm in the cut. Like, I'll be somewhere you might not even know I'm there.
Yeah, that's kind of rare because most of the people we interview or speak with, that's behind the scenes, at some point in time they did want that, right? Whether they, even like some of the bigger, like Andre Harrell was in a rap group. Like, a lot of people started out and it just didn't work out for them, but they had the connections. They were forced into the background, but you just came right out like, I'm in the background.
No, for sure. Like I said, like, when I saw what Chris Lighty was doing with Violator, and how they were behind all these artists. They was behind LL Cool J. They was behind Missy Elliott. They was behind Busta Rhymes. You had the franchise, and then, you know, when 50 emerged, Fat Joe, Big Pun. Like, I kept seeing their name on everything. Like, dang, what is this? So when I started looking them up and seeing what they do, like, I just was like, I think I want to do that.
Okay. Dope.
You talk about how you exercise patience in this game. You know, people want it microwavable. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, and then dealing with artists and being patient with artists. You know, the nothing is promised part in the game.
No, for sure.
How do you navigate through that?
I think that kind of comes from sports, right? Because, like, when you play football, like, when you training, when you training, weightlifting, all the conditioning and stuff you got to do, like, that's a process.
Okay.
And we had this saying on our weight. It was painted on the wall of our weight room. It say, "Pain is temporary, pride is forever." So like we would always like, you know what I'm saying, if you
Yeah.
want to like quit that last rep, you look at that and remind you. So it's kind of like I take the same approach to this, you know what I'm saying? It's like you got to go through the process to get to the end product. Like you can't skip steps.
Right.
So
So it's that discipline that came from being an athlete, pretty much.
exactly.
Do you find it frustrating? Because with you being an athlete, and then do you find it frustrating, like when you're talking to an artist, like, dude, you got to have this together, because they don't see the end result if they never accomplished anything, right?
Yeah, it can be frustrating. It's crazy. I've actually like a couple of the artists that I'm working with that like are new, so it's like they're super, super talented.
Yeah.
But they haven't been through this yet, so a lot of things is frustrating to them.
Right.
So it can be a little frustrating, like explaining it. But you got to just let people. It's crazy. My son's 23 now, but when he was a junior in high school, like I was on, because he played basketball. He ended up going to Rochester University on a basketball scholarship. But he was a junior, so I remember this conversation vividly. He had played a terrible game, and I was on him.
Yeah.
And he just looked at me, and he said, "Dad, you got to let me figure it out."
Yeah.
And then he went further and was like, "Yeah, you do that like with your artists." He's like, "You got to let them figure it out too."
Right.
He's like, "Just because you see it, don't mean we see it, and you got to let us want it."
Yeah.
And that stuck with me.
Dig that.
Right.
Yeah. This is my kid. He was 16, 17 at the time. I'm like,
Right.
so yeah, that always stuck with
So
me.
you had to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's still frustrating because you like, man, just let me give you the shortcut. But sometimes they need to go through it.
No, for sure they got to
Yeah.
go through it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I think that's where my patience come is I understand they have to go through it because artist development is not necessarily about the talent. It's about the mental.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the mental
Okay.
is more important than the talent because it's a lot of talented people, but you
Right.
got to be mentally prepared to be successful.
Yeah.
They want to get to the CCW without getting a black eye.
For sure.
Yeah. I was talking to an artist one time, and he was telling me about that group, and they went back and got a member that wasn't in the group when they got signed, but he was one of the original members, and they tried to introduce him to that world by taking him on tour, and he was like, I don't want this anymore. So I definitely get it.
For sure. No, you gotta
understanding
you gotta want this. Like
Yeah.
it gotta be a like burning desire and passion.
Right.
'Cause this ain't easy.
Yeah.
It's not for the faint of heart.
That's dope.
Talk about the steps the artists got to make before they put their music on a platform.
I mean,
What take,
as far as just putting it out.
Yeah, just whether it's registering music or.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you got to be registered as a writer first with ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, whichever one you choose. Once you do that, then you got to get to record the music, mix the music, master the music, get your artwork, figure out what distribution platform. I mean, now we have a plethora of options for independent artists, whether it be TuneCore, DistroKid, United Masters,
Right.
So on. It's a million of them now. And just put the music out. But yeah, you do got to understand like registering the song like on the publishing side. A lot of people don't understand that, so that could be complicated to explain.
They
to
think
people
they
sometimes.
can just copyright it. They not understanding the publishing part of it.
Yeah. I don't think people understand that it's various different revenue sources
Right.
for this. So you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you don't have to be a superstar to make money off the music.
Right. So explain that a little bit. So, like I've met people that all they do is write music for like soundtracks, or they don't even want to be like a major artist. So that's one source of revenue, right? Like
No, for sure.
licensing and all of that. Kind of break that down for an artist.
I mean, if you somebody that's just really mainly doing that, obviously you 9 times out of 10 you own the master recordings.
Right. Okay.
So when you license a song, it's paid on 2 ways. It's paid on the owner of the master recording,
Okay.
and then the owners of whoever has the publishing right of the composition.
Okay.
So you get paid on both ends of that for like a sync opportunity.
Right.
So a lot of people that do that, especially producers that do music, like they getting paid as the producer,
Right.
and they getting paid as the master owner. So
Okay.
yeah. that is definitely one stream.
What artists well, who are the artists you working with, consulting and things like that? You know?
Currently, I work with Helluva.
Producer, yeah.
Yeah, I work with Energy Beats.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm kind of naming off all the producers first. I got Wayne 616.
Okay.
He from Grand Rapids. That's a producer that me and Helluva like took under our wing.
Okay.
Another producer me and Helluva just recently took under wing. His name is Ben Cooked It Up. Young dude.
It's Ben Cooked It Up?
Yeah,
all right,
so
that's
yeah.
dope.
Ben,
That's
His name Ben. Huh?
yeah,
That's
Ben hard. Ben
I like
hard
that.
for sure. My guy Cortland, who one of my guys that I'm like, he's like one of my mentees. So
Okay.
he has a producer named K4 that
All right.
me and him started working on together. And K4 just recently did Little Yachty and V's got a song called Sorry Not Sorry.
Okay.
It just
Okay.
came out. I think it just got certified gold. So K4, he 19 from here. He real
Okay.
dope. He got a bright future.
Wait, so let me back up real quick. So your mentee is Cortland, you said?
Yes,
All right. So you're helping other people that want to be managers
correct.
in the game. That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
like-
most managers, they're just out looking for talent. They not bringing nobody under their wing like that.
I mean, it's the thing, right? Like, I was blessed that I had people like Lenny S,
Okay.
like MC Serch,
Right.
Paul Rosenberg. I had these people that like were been very successful, and they didn't do nothing but give me the game.
Okay.
So I feel like it's my obligation to
Right.
pass that information forward. And it's the same thing as an artist though. When I look at that, do you really want to do it?
Right.
Like Cortland been doing this since he was like 16 years old. Like
Okay.
really like in the
Right.
mix for real. So like when I seen his passion for what he wanted to do, like he was rough around the edges. We were just talking about this yesterday. He was like 23 when I met him.
Okay.
And he was like super, like he super talented at identifying talent
Okay.
and knowing how to cultivate that talent.
Right.
But he didn't understand like the business side of it, right? So I just told him, I was like, what the skills that you have, if you totally understand the business side, you're gonna be unstoppable.
Right.
So he just really he just listened to, he really listened to me and like he really take what I say, like
Right.
take heed to what I'm saying to him. So I can't do nothing but help somebody like that.
Right. When he was somebody like that, were the artists coming to him, or did he just have the gift of gab to like really conversate with an artist and say, "Here's what I can do for you"?
I think it's a
Was it-
mixture of both. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like he just around, he like
Right.
in the creative community. So some people come to him, some people I identify them and approach them. So
Right.
it's like a mixture of both.
Okay. How did you even get in the mix with like Paul and Serch?
Oh man, actually, so Rinsing is part of this story.
Okay.
I don't know if they call you Rinsing anymore. My bad. That's what I'm gonna call you for the rest of my life. So we were working on. It was a group called the Rat Pack. We was recording in his basement.
Okay.
They end up meeting this guy named Light, who was from the Bronx. And so he was like their manager, but Light was like a street dude. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, shout out to Light. Light, Light helped open the doors for us. But Light was working, him and Lenny had like this show on MySpace that they were doing together.
Okay.
So he ended up introducing the group to Lenny. We met Lenny. This is around the time, this like 2003,
Okay.
2004. So Lenny was
Right.
at Virgin Records because this was after Rockefeller had got sold.
Yeah.
And this is right before Jay-Z became the president of Def
Def
Jam.
Jam.
So he was working at Virgin Records. So we would go out to New York, run around. Long story short, the group ended up breaking up.
Yeah.
Lenny ended up, Jay became the president of Def Jam. Lenny went back to become an A&R at Def Jam. And in that whole process, he just reached out to me and was like, look, same thing like with Court.
Yeah.
I see you really want to do it. So hit me up whenever. So
Right.
I used to just hop on a Greyhound and just go to New York.
Right.
And I'd just be sitting in his office at Def Jam, and he just would take me around and introduce me to everybody.
Right.
And then I kind of like, even to this day, like I built a lot of my network off a lot of those people that I met then.
Right.
Because a lot of those people was like interns. They was street team people.
Yeah.
Not all them people, they executives and CEOs and running the companies. And like these are people who I came up with
Yeah.
from the bottom.
So they see you as a peer, not like,
Yes.
yeah, because y'all all started out the same.
Exactly.
So I just want to send a message out. So like, when you say you was hitting the Greyhound and going there, that was like putting your reps in
For sure.
and paying your dues. And
Yeah,
a
for
lot
sure.
of people just want to skip past that part.
Oh no, man.
I ain't going out there on no Greyhound.
Man,
I'm just sitting in this office bored.
Yeah,
You know what
no,
I'm
you
saying?
got to put your work in. So from there, actually, so my first big client was a producer, Sick Notes.
Yeah,
So
yep.
So let me tell you,
Pepin'
The
DeWitt,
Witt,
shout out.
yeah.
I just talked to Witt yesterday. That's my
my
brother.
guys,
Them still
yeah.
my brothers to this day.
Yeah.
So I was interning at their studio.
Okay.
So I was just an engineering intern.
Right.
So they had a manager. They were with Sanctuary at the time, and
Okay.
Max Goose was their manager at Sanctuary.
Okay.
So Max Goose, he ended up leaving Sanctuary because Matthew Knowles left. Matthew Knowles was there. He left, so him and Max Goose left with him. So the guys didn't have a manager. So I'm like, shit, I know Lenny. Like, so I hit Lenny, like, you know the guys. He's like, yeah, I know who they are, blah, blah, blah. I like, can we come meet with you? You know, they're looking for a manager. He's like, all right, cool, I'll take the meeting. So we come into the meeting. We sitting in the meeting, and Lenny like, man, he said, I can't do it.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, they had just signed Fabulous at Def Jam. I think they signed Ghostface at Def Jam. He was A&R'ing Chrisette Michelle, Neo.
Right.
And then, you know,
Oh,
Jay
he's-
was like still recording, like, you know, he was retired, but
Right.
Jay was still recording, so he's still dealing with that. He's like, bro, I just ain't got time to do it. So we sat there in the meeting. I'm like, well, you know somebody who could do it? And he looked at me. He's like, why don't you do it?
Right.
And the guys looked at me, and they said, all right, cool. So I literally, like, went from being their intern to their manager, like, just like that.
That's dope.
Shout out to
Yes,
Sick
sir.
Notes. They made
Yeah,
the joint
Pepin' DeWitt.
How Come and Cry Now with Obi Trice.
Yeah.
How
So-
Come with D12. All
Yeah,
that.
so then that's how I end up linking with Paul, because we end up, so the first record that we really did while I started managing them was Cry Now for Obi Trice.
Yeah.
So I never forget, we was in the studio, Obi came to the studio, because this is after Obi had got shot.
Yeah.
So Interscope was trying to rush his album out. And Obi came to the studio with us. He's like, man, because we was working on records, but we didn't get to finish on the records because he had got shot. He's like, man, they trying to make me put the album out. He's like, I ain't putting the album out without y'all on it. So he came to the studio with like a gallon of Hennessy. we was like, we going to listen to the whole album, and y'all tell me what I'm missing.
Right.
So we listened to the album, so we started going through beats. Cry Now was actually the first beat that Witt played him. We skipped over it. We listened to a couple other beats. It was other beat that he started like kind of like coming up with some ideas too. But we felt like the record sounded like it would be a D12 record, right?
Yeah.
So we like, nah, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? So then we went back to the Cry Now beat, and then he listened to it, and he's like, all right, pull that up.
Right.
And he just sat at the mic and like literally like freestyled that whole song just sitting at the mic.
Right.
So
That's dope.
Yeah, we was in the studio till like 6 a.m. We went home. We came back to the studio probably about 3, 4 in the afternoon. Proof came to the studio. So Proof here, he's like, man, I heard y'all made some crazy shit last night. So Proof come in there. We play on the song. He's like, man, put it on the CD for me. Put it on the CD. He left. I guess he went right to M.
Right.
The next day, I get a call from Tracy, like, yo, we need you to bring the files to the studio. We go over to the studio. We sit in the studio, M in the studio, Paul there. We mix the song. We shoot the video the next week. And then the song was out, and it ended up being a single on Obi album.
Damn.
So it literally
That's
went
right.
like that. It was like a 2-week process.
Right. So let me ask you this. How important is that first single? Because, like, I debate with people about Obi's album, right? So, like, what was it? Got Some Teeth?
Yeah.
Was, like, the first one?
On the first album,
Yeah.
yeah.
But on that first album, I think, what was the song with Nate Dogg?
Was the setup or something?
The
Yeah,
set up. So if do you think it would have been a bigger impact if that single would have came out first before Got Some Teeth?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
It
All
was
right.
the TRL days back then.
Yeah, I know.
It
I,
was-
I think, bro, I think sometimes,
Right.
because we from here,
Yeah,
we forget how big Eminem
exactly.
is still to
Right.
this day.
Right.
Like, he was the biggest thing smoking.
Right.
So it's like, that was the formula. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it exposed Obi to his fans.
To that fan base.
And
right.
gave him that thing. It gave him like a boost.
Right.
And then it's like, all right, cool. Now we can go into.
Go into that.
Because now y'all can digest
Right.
what he doing because y'all been exposed to him through Eminem.
Right. So what part in that selection does the manager play, or is it just strictly up to the labels, or are you negotiating like, okay, I want this to be my first single, but then the label is like, no, this is the direction we want to go?
I think it depends on the situation.
Okay.
Because really, for me personally, I've never been in a situation where I couldn't make a choice or we couldn't make a choice that we wanted to make. It's kind of like a collective thing. Like,
right.
What is, again, it's like being football, right?
Yeah.
We got to sit at what's the correct plays to call.
Right. Right.
So that's what it is. So it's like, it's a collective.
Yeah. Do you go for it or do you kick?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
And then y'all make a decision as a team.
Not to cut you guys off, but how was Obi's Trice energy after being shot? I mean, I know it's
I mean, he was cool. Like, I mean, during that time, he was cool. Like, you know, Obi just was ready to get back to work. And
right.
like I said, we had just been, he had a relationship with Pepper Witt. So it was like, he just wanted to make sure, like, because that was the thing. He was like, y'all ain't make my first album. Because they did stuff for him when he was independent. And I think a song they did for him made the European version of the first album. Wow. But it wasn't on the release that came out in the States.
Okay.
So he was like, I want to make sure y'all on my album because, you know what I'm saying, we have a history.
Yeah.
So he was making sure. So, no, it was cool.
And it sounded like they had some chemistry already. So he was just, he wanted that sound.
Obi used to be at Sick Notes all the time in my sessions, you know.
Yeah. So, no, it was cool.
That's dope.
Yeah. Talk about what are the artists? You mentioned the producers.
So artists now, obviously, Boldy James.
Okay, shout out to Boldy.
You know, we've been together for
Starsky and Hutch right there.
2011. Yeah, we started like professionally working together in 2000. We've known each other since we was kids.
Okay.
But we started working together in 2011. Neisha Neshae.
Shout out to Neisha Neshae.
Then you have Rob 49.
Okay.
Who is going through the roof right now.
Yeah.
Then you got Brielle Lesley, who's still one of my clients. Man, it's so many art. You got GMO Stacks.
Okay. Yep.
Another artist that Cortland's working with, YB and Little Bro.
Okay.
So we working on that. Rob just signed an artist named Moschino.
Okay.
So we have a joint venture. So Rob, Rob has like his own label situation.
Yeah. So you helping the artists and they're finding artists and you bringing them under the umbrella.
Yeah. I got another artist that I'm developing now, Cold World. Helluva has an artist named Claire that we working with.
Okay.
It's a girl from Flint, J. Renee. Yeah, it's an extensive list, man.
When you say you're developing an artist, kind of explain that to the audience. Like, are you in a creative side or like what does that entail?
All of it, like bringing their vision to life. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because most of the artists, they have their vision of what they want to do.
Right.
So it's like really like taking what they have in their head,
right,
and bringing it to life. And like I said, but it's all about mental, like teaching them the business, teaching them how things work, just educating them on everything so they understand. Because my thing is, if something ever happened to me, I want the artist to understand what's happening around them.
Yeah, like understand the basis of their contracts, understand the relationships, keeping those commitments and things like that. So, how important is the artist's image? Like, have you ever had an artist and was like, what you're presenting is not gonna sell records?
I haven't personally had that problem because I mean, I'm not even probably working with you if you don't have. That's basic stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like I said, you got to fine tune, but that's basic stuff. That's like stuff an artist doesn't need a manager for. Like, if you don't, I shouldn't have to tell you what you want to look like. Yeah. Yeah. Well, like, if I have to tell you that, then you're not a star.
It's some people I see, I'll be like, man, who let them out with that? You know what I'm saying?
Leora Cohen, it was one time he was here in Detroit, and he said something that was profound, too. He said when he signed an artist, he said my mama would sign them.
Wow.
That's how much you know. Like, when they walk in the room, like, my mama know they a star.
Right.
He was like, I sign stars, I don't dust off bums.
I like that.
So it's like either you was like, you know when somebody a star. Like I said, you might need to fine tune it, but you know they a star like the moment you meet them.
Right. That's dope.
What is Helluva's biggest record? I know he's your artist. Is it First Day Out or?
Yeah, I mean, First Day. I mean, because First Day on so many different levels, on a monetary level, on cultural impact level. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
everybody's saying First Day Out now.
Right.
But even that, but First Day Out is the record, like the Renaissance of Detroit.
Yeah.
That's the epicenter of the Renaissance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So everything starts from everything you look at. Everybody that got deals, it all started from that moment.
Right.
Because everybody was like, oh, this sound. Because they been doing it. They been having the Doughboys, been getting million views. Like, as much as we say we don't support our music, we do for real.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So we've always been doing that, and our music's been supported. But that was the first time a record that sounded like a record from here had national or international success.
Right.
So now people saw like, all right, this is not just a regional sound. This is a worldly sound, and the world is accepting this sound.
Right.
And it started from there.
Then you start having people imitate it and everything.
Yeah.
That's how you know you made it.
Yeah. No, I mean, like if you listen to hip hop right now, it's very influenced by the Detroit, like the tempo, the cadences in people raps.
Yeah.
Like it's all influenced by us. Some people so this is the conversation I have. People get upset by that, right? Yeah. Like, oh, they taking our sound, they doing this. I say, no, what we got to do is we got to make hits with our sound. That's what they doing that we haven't been doing.
Right.
They've been taking the sound and they've been making hit records with it.
Right.
We need to make hit records with our own sound.
Right.
So that's the thing I always challenge the rappers, like, or artists in general. Like, we gotta make hit records.
Right. Let me ask you this: what makes a good manager? Like, I'm an artist. I'm dope. I got a little buzz around. How do I determine who I hire as my manager?
Somebody who's knowledgeable.
Okay.
Somebody that's connected. And somebody who really love what you do.
Okay. Right. So they got to believe in you. They got to know it ain't just somebody just like, oh, I got these connections so I can plug you. But they really got to.
Yeah, because like any artist I work with, like it's a lot of artists that I've been approached to work with.
Right.
But I don't, and I'm not saying they're not viable because I don't work with them because they do. It's stuff work. Right. But if it's not for me, I can't sell it if I'm not connected to it like that.
Right.
But not to say it's not good. It just might not be for me.
Right.
So.
So is Boldy with Rock Nation now?
No, not necessarily with Rock Nation. He got some things going on. Like, yeah, he got some things going on.
Not that hit you with that one.
Boldy. So Boldy has a very unique career, right? Because a lot of these projects that he does are like one-off projects. He puts a large influx of music in the marketplace,
right?
Which some people view as good and bad, right?
Yeah.
But it's for him, right? It works for him,
right?
I see it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying. So he just doing work for him. Me and him have our debates about certain things sometimes, but I mean it's working. So like my thing is just to figure out like, all right, how do I make this work? Because this is what's working for him. How do I make it work for him?
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Man, what's your take on got two more for you. Third base getting back together.
I love it, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, Serch.
Yeah.
Me and Serch talk that's like my real brother. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody else.
Yeah, like that's like my real brother. Like, you know, we was crazy. Like he didn't know me since I was like 23 years old. I just turned 42.
Okay.
So he like really watched me grow up, like with his kids, his wife. Like this is like really my family. You know what I'm saying? So we always talked about like the differences him and P had, or just you know all that. So to see them to be able to put those differences aside,
right,
and have a conversation. It really all started because it's almost time for them to get their masters back. So that's how the conversation really started, and then from there just kind of like started like just happening little by little, and then DJ Cassidy, he reached out to them to perform for the BLS 50th anniversary concert.
Okay.
And then from there it was just like, all right, well, there's a thing now.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. They just did a Drink Champs interview too that's gonna come out. So
That's dope.
Yeah, so I'm excited about it. Like,
Right.
I'm really excited about what 25 has to offer for them.
Right.
Like the festivals, the fans, like, cause they got a lot of fans, you know.
Yeah.
And I be telling Serch, I'm like, bro, like, I know you've been doing this, but you don't realize how important to the culture y'all are.
Right.
I think y'all get, you get lost because it's you.
Right.
So like, y'all important to the culture, and it's a lot of people who are fans of y'all that get to see this. Is young people who are like really hip hop connoisseurs.
Yeah.
And history, they like understand the history of hip hop. They never got to see y'all be together.
Right.
So like, yeah, I'm like, this is gonna be like a crazy, like, generational kind of moment.
Yeah. That's dope.
Ever since when I heard a story about him, MC Serch, when Scott LaRock got killed, he went to the hospital and stuff. I said, Serch has like been in the street.
Yeah, he been. Yeah.
No, that's
real passionate for me.
That's my, you know what I love about me and Serch's relationship is we can tell each other when we wrong. Like,
Yeah.
and it'd be crazy for me to, like, I could cut into MC Serch, like, but that's like my brothers for real. So it's like, if I'm wrong, he'll cut into me like, bro, you kind of tripping right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, to be able to have those checks and balances is really dope. Like I said, same thing with Lenny. Like, I could really kick it with Lenny about different things and ideas, or if I just need somebody to talk to, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I talk to him, I call him 8 o'clock in the morning, like, bro, there's something on my mind, and we
Right.
get to really kick it. Actually, like Rod 49, I met Rod 49. Paul was like instrumental in that connection and happening. Because when Paul was running Def Jam, he had signed Fredo Bangs and Cash Page. So they signed to this production company out of Florida called Ced Louie. And I felt at that time like I had hit like this like glass ceiling, kind of, so to speak. Right. And I felt like I was like, I'm doing this shit by myself, and I ain't know where to go next with it. And I hit Paul up just to get some advice, and he was like, give me a couple days. And he called me back. He said, man, it's this dude in Florida. He said he building something real interesting. He's like, I think y'all can help each other. So he introduced us on email. Got Stan.
Yeah.
We talked on email. Stan ended up calling me like the next day.
Right.
And he was like, can you come to Miami tomorrow?
Damn.
I'm like, all right. So he put me on his assistant, booked the flight. I went to Miami with them for like 3 days. We kicked it. He was like, all right, we're going to figure out something. COVID ended up happening, but we stayed in touch through the whole time COVID. Helluva started producing records for some of the other artists on the label. They ended up signing GMO Stacks.
Okay.
So me and Helluva was working on GMO Stacks project, and in the midst of that, they was like, man, they had just signed Rob. And they was like, man, they had signed Rob. It was this other artist named Darrow that they did. The Darrow thing ain't really get to happen. That was some like behind the scenes stuff that kind of didn't work. And then they had Little Double O, who they was doing in conjunction with Future. Mm-hmm. So they had showed me these 3 artists. They like, man, we need some help with these artists.
Right.
So I end up doing like A&R for those 3 artists.
Okay.
And then and I went to New Orleans with Rob, and met his family, and me and him connected, and then from there just developed into me like being a part of Rob's team directly.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned Third Base and Rob 49. What advice you got for the old generation in Detroit hip hop and the young generation?
The older generation, I think it's our job, because I guess I consider myself like I'm an OG now, I guess.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy. Because it's like J. Cole's song, Middle Child. Like, I'm like the middle child.
Yeah.
But it's our job to embrace the youth, to educate the youth, and be there to guide them through this process. Because, like, y'all in D12, and y'all didn't have anybody to guide y'all. Y'all was the first. So y'all didn't have it, so y'all bumped y'all head and went through different things. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, if y'all could go back, it's like y'all would have did different business deals differently.
Course, totally.
Y'all would have handled stuff differently. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, y'all didn't have anybody to guide y'all through, like, this is how it's supposed to go. So a lot of decisions was emotional decisions, just being from the street. You know what I'm saying? So now, like I said, they do have us. And I think also the older generation, these young dudes is getting money.
Yeah, they getting to the
So
paper.
we can't be jealous of them getting money.
Right.
Like, it just teach them, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they can, because they making money, teach them how to keep their money, teach them how to stay out of trouble, how to move. Like, that's our job. So, like, that would be my advice. And just the young dudes, just listen, you know what I'm saying? Because not everybody hating on you, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not everybody's here to talk down on you. It's some people that's really genuinely here to help. And I think for me, like, it helped me, right? Because, like, I be with all the young dudes.
Yeah.
And I generally have a relationship with them, and they listen to me, they kick it, they call on my phone, like, we talk about, like, real life problems and stuff like that, so.
You can make time for them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they are the future, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, we have to make time for them, like, that's our obligation.
That's dope.
And it keep us in the game too, right?
Sharp, keep
like,
us.
Yeah, and keep you connected.
Like they teach me stuff. Like it's stuff I might not know. Like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying? Oh, Brooklyn Queen too. Like, listen, Brooklyn Queen. So I've worked with Brooklyn Queen in some capacity since she's like 13 years old. So now she's grown or grownish. She's still not all the way grown, but she's not a little kid anymore. Right. And she is taking command of her business. So recently, her and her mom sat down, and I like became part of the management team for her to like help her like navigate and take what she's already built and take it to another level now. Right. So yeah, like Brooklyn, like she gonna have an impactful year. Like Brooklyn, beyond music, like film, TV, like. She gonna be a superstar. You know what I'm saying? How much time? Do we got time, man? I know.
Real quick? Do you have any artists that you help segue from just music into other into film or they have the potential other than who you just mentioned?
Neisha.
Okay.
So Neisha, we started. I mean, it just wasn't me. That was like a collective thing.
Okay.
But Neisha, she did a film. What was the name of that? What was the name of that project? Because it's like it's not like in theaters. They like show it at like schools and stuff.
Okay.
Ring of Silence. So it was a movie. It's a movie about human trafficking, right?
Right.
They filmed it in Flint. So Kalani was actually supposed to play the role.
Okay.
But it was scheduling conflict. Kalani couldn't do it, so they was trying to figure out like who can we have replace her or whatever. So at the time, Neisha was signed to Rock Nation at the time. Okay. They got wind of her. We sent in her photos and all that. So they was like, all right, cool, let's do it.
Right.
Because it was like her part, it was like her character like did like some singing too. Right. So they're like, all right, let's do it. Crazy. She didn't do no table read. She didn't do nothing. We just got the script. She learned the script. We went and shot. We shot for like 4 days. So I remember the first day she hated it because it was like we just sitting here we sitting here all day. Like, she's like, I don't want to do this. You know what I'm saying? So she ended up getting into the flow of it. Like once she started really filming and stuff, she got into the flow of it. So I remember sitting with the director Nicole. So we were sitting in this one scene, and she looked at me. She was like, "Ced." She's like, "How long she been acting?" I said, "She never acted before." She looked at me. She was like, "Never?" I like, "Never." She's like, "She need to be doing this."
Right.
She natural.
Yeah, natural.
Because she was acting with like A-level actors. Like this was like real actors that flew out from California.
I can see her in like Harlem Nights and Idlewood.
Yeah.
She would have played, one of them the classic legendary. Comedy /
Yeah. Then she ended up. She did another movie called Turn the Cheek.
Okay.
With Rocky.
Wow.
Yeah, Rocky, Janaea, that was one of their movies. So she had like a supporting role in that movie, and then she ended up. Vezzo did Price of Love.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Price of Love, she was actually reading for another role, and then they did it. It's like nah, so they ended up giving her the lead role in that.
Right.
And man, she killed it, man. Like she killed it, and it's like that movie. Even to this day, she still people like yo. I saw this movie, and they calling her by her name in the movie. Yeah. So no, she Neisha is and I'm not just saying this because I work with her. She is an extraordinary talent. She works super hard. Right. Like she make you wanna, she make me want to go hard for her.
Invest more into her.
Yeah, because she she's super dedicated to her craft. Man, and we had like some legal stuff we was going through. We still going through technically,
Right.
but a lot of artists would have folded in her situation.
Yeah.
They would have quit. Like, all right, I'm straight on this, and like some days she wanted to quit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But she like fought through it, and she really like it made her even better.
Right.
Yeah.
She did like an ad campaign or something with somebody, didn't she?
I mean, we done did a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I seen something.
Yeah, we done did a bunch of
dressed
stuff.
up on some ad.
Yeah, we did. Man, she do a bunch of stuff. Like, man, no, she a superstar.
Well-
And even beside people that I don't work with, right? Like, we have. So Detroit, we've had our renaissance because of the rap stuff.
Yep.
But then, like I said, you got artists like Neisha. You got artists like Charity. That DJ BJ working with. But Charity, Charity been around forever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I just went to her concert. Her concert was actually on my birthday. I mean, she a superstar, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got we had Neisha show. You got Haley. You got Raquel Soledad. You got Maya Monroe. You got Haley. Like these R&B artists, like.
Right.
That's what's going, cause they all one thing they make it hit records. You got South North Southwest,
Right.
man. It's a whole world.
So
like,
it's like a whole R&B, whole conglomerate. coming
man,
out,
and
right.
like I said, and they make it hit records. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So these records are gonna live a long time.
Right.
And gonna carry them. Like, even if you look at Neisha now, right? On the
Yeah.
Cloud, it's still a record. She could perform that record any day.
Right.
Like that, I'ma go crazy. Like, these records literally have carried her. Even when we couldn't put out music, she's still getting booked because these songs are so strong and powerful
Right.
that they carrying. And these songs is 7-8 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got a whole R&B movement.
Oh man,
Coming.
what? Like,
Yeah.
and that. So for me, those are the artists I want to expose to anybody I know. I'm gonna scream to the mountaintops.
Yeah.
Like, y'all need to look, whether I'm working with them or not. Y'all need to look at these artists,
Right.
because this thing that we have the ability to do what Atlanta did,
Right.
and Atlanta was able to last that long because those artists was pumping out hit records left and right.
Yeah.
So for us, we have to pump out these records. You know what I'm saying? Pump
And
out hit
support
records,
each other
and
doing
our artists can do it. Even though, like Babyface Ray, man, you look at how he's building his touring career. You look at V's and how he's built an international touring career already.
Right.
So young into his career. Peasy and Vezo on the road. Now they understand how, all right, we got to get out on the road. We got to see, man, Rio. What?
Yeah.
When I tell y'all, right, watch how big of a 25 Rio have. Because
Okay.
what people don't understand is Rio blew up in the pandemic and then
Yeah.
went to jail. People never seen Rio.
Right.
It's people all over the world who are fans of him that never laid eyes on him in the flesh.
Right.
Man, he gonna make a killing, bro.
Yeah.
Baby Tron, like Baby Tron
Baby Tron is
built. He's building a crazy touring career. And now you see, Big Sean and M did the song with him, so it exposed him to new people. Like, imagine when he had like a real hit record. He can be like people. He can be as big as Marshall, man.
Right.
Yeah.
We need y'all guys on the show. All y'all young guys.
Nah, for real, man. He could be really big, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like the artists are now like they like paying attention to that, and they're making a conscious effort to figure that out. So I think the future is bright.
All right. Let me ask you one last question, because I got to give all the good with the bad. At what point in time should an artist decide or a manager decide it's time to cut ties with each other?
Y'all just don't have the same vision.
Same vision, right?
Y'all don't have
It's
the same
just
vision.
like, or do you as a manager say, okay, your work ethic is not
Yeah, that happens
here?
too.
Okay.
I've done that.
Yeah. Yep. All the
Not
talent.
a lot of times. It's not a lot of times, but I've done that.
Right. So you got artists, all the talent in the world. They got the voice or whatever. They got the following, but their work ethic is not there. You'll let them go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I ain't gonna say let them go. Because I think the people that I work with, I'm like always here for you. Because like I said, a lot of the people that I work with, like we have a personal connection too.
Right.
So I'm there for you on a personal level, but
Right.
it's like I'm gonna work as hard as you work.
Right.
So if you're not
Okay.
working,
Yep.
if you're not working hard for you, I'm not gonna work hard for you.
Right. That's
and
why
they used to be different. I used to think different, right?
Yeah.
I used to.
You all in and
like,
they not in it.
Come on. Like, I ain't got time for that.
Right. You're not trying to drag them across the finish
You
line.
can't.
They got it. Right. Dope.
Yeah, we from that era where they put so much weight on one person. They put so much weight on Blade or Proof or M or
Nah, man, you can't drag nobody. You can't make.
Right.
Yeah.
Rob just posted something today, right? And he said, I don't want confused souls around me.
Right.
He said, you either a boss or you a flunky.
Yep.
Period. There's no in between.
Right.
So that's
real shit.
That's real.
Bosses, like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be you a boss.
Right.
Like you look at Kendrick, you look at J. Cole, Jay-Z, Eminem, who go down the list, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Alicia Keys,
Right.
Mary J. Blige, 50 Cent.
Yep.
They bosses. They run the show. They have people around them that help them,
Right.
but they run the show. It's their vision. Kanye.
Yep.
That's what separate them from everybody else.
Right. It's dope.
Man, thank you, Ced, for the knowledge, man. Happy belated birthday to you. know
Thank
what
you. I
I'm
appreciate
saying?
it.
One last thing. So I'm a starving artist. I think I got talent. How do we reach out to you? How do they get a hold of you?
I mean, I be
Or
on
is
Instagram. I really be on Instagram.
Just
like,
Instagram?
Yeah, I be on
All
Instagram. I be on there.
Consulting and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I do. It's crazy. I didn't cultivate a lot, so I started doing. I ain't gonna lie. My homegirl told me like I started doing the consulting thing. Right.
Yeah.
First, I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying. It's like I felt like there's a lot of people who would take money from artists and they really wasn't doing nothing for them or selling them false dreams. So I never really wanted to do it. But she was like with me one day and my phone was just going crazy. And she like, man, you need to start charging people for all this information you giving out.
Right.
So I looked at her, I'm like, all right. So I said it and figured out like, all right. So I set it up like, it's like education, right? People pay for education.
Yep.
So that's how I set it up. So I started doing it. And I cultivated a lot of dope relationships because it was people who was really serious about their craft who would come and actually want to pay for it. And, you know, became some really good friends. And like, I don't necessarily manage all of them, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I do have a relationship with them. They hit me up like said you told me to do this one thing and I did it and they'll show me like what came from what they did for what we talked about. So no, that's been like fulfilling. There's one guy, Christian, that's on my team. He paid me for a consulting session to pitch me ideas about me.
Wow.
And it was crazy. I'm like, this dude paid me to tell me ideas that he got for me.
Right.
And then, you know, like, so yeah, he been part of my team it's been about 3 years now. So yeah, he helped with like a lot of social media content for me, for all of the artists. Like he sit down and he helped with like our social media stuff.
That's gotta be a good feeling though, to get somebody just a little nugget of advice and then just seeing what comes from it.
No, for sure.
They take it and run with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely it's fulfilling. Like, I mean, we all want money and we do things for money, but for me, that's the most fulfilling part.
Yeah.
Like, it's even more satisfying than the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, the money the money's a byproduct. So like when you do good business and you successful, money gonna come. But to see people fulfill what they want to do, or like I said, these things become just from a mere thought to reality. That's fulfilling for me.
Right, that's dope.
That's what's up, man.
All
We
right,
just made a movie with Ced Louie.
Oh, you found something right. he was thinking about that for about 40 minutes.
That's why you're a DJ, not a rapper.
Right.
Yeah, that's what's up, Ced,
That's
man.
what's
Thank
up.
you, man. Shout out to Detroit, man. Ced Louie, the whole Hands Up Entertainment.
I appreciate it.
Yep. Shout out to Boldy James, Helluva, the whole crew. You know.
Man, yeah.
Bully Boys, all y'all.
Oh, man, what? I got to go pull up on Fast in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
Funky
y'all.
Fresh in the Flesh, and we out.
Peace out, y'all.